All right, time for Dilemma of the Day. Today's dilemma, at first, when I read it, thought it was a dumb dilemma.
Right.
But, being a parent of two teenage daughters,
Right.
started, it got me thinking a little bit. But I'm going to read it. Let you give your 2 cents on it, all right?
All right, go for it.
All right. It says, gentlemen, I'm a 45-year-old dad who listens to you guys every day. I have 2 teenage daughters that are easily influenced, and they love Rihanna a lot. They have all her music posters all over their rooms. So basically, she's a role model for them. I, on the other hand, don't want them listening to her anymore because she's back with Chris Brown. I don't want my daughters to think it's okay for a guy to hit them. It's not okay. Not now, not ever. Should I make my daughters stop listening to Rihanna? Is she sending a message that domestic violence is something you'll eventually get over? Do other parents of teenage girls feel the same as I do? Comes from Everybody Hates Chris.
We've said this before, and I think that everything starts at home. And I think what you teach your daughters will stay with them for the rest of their lives, meaning you're telling them that domestic violence is not accepted, period, under any conditions at all. And I think that that's great, that's what your thoughts are, and I hope that that's what's embedded into their heads. As far as listening to Rihanna and having her posters, I don't know if that necessarily... I understand the kids are fans, but does that really make the kids think at such a young age that the domestic violence is cool?
I mean, if that was the case, I mean, let's say an actress plays the role of a domestic violence victim in a movie.
Right.
And she keeps getting back with the husband in the movie. Are you not going to let your daughter watch those movies because in the movie she kept getting back with the dude?
See, now I understand that this is real life. This actually happened. What Chris Brown and Rihanna happened a couple of years back.
I mean, I understand they're in the public eye.
Right.
A lot of people in the public eye do not choose to be role models. They are labeled role models because they're in the spotlight. Is it Rihanna's responsibility to parent these kids?
And that's what I think I was trying to say earlier, is that it's up to us as parents to say, this is right, this is what I believe is right, this is what I believe is wrong, and these are the reasons why.
See, my girls, I'm looking at dude's dilemma that he sent in. He has 2 teenage daughters. I have 2 teenage daughters. When my girls come to me and say, hey, can I do this, this, and this? I'll say no. Well, so-and-so dads let her do it. Well, good for them. They're not my daughters. So
Exactly.
So I think, they're going to see it, whether it's with Rihanna, whether it's with Madonna, whether it's with Marrana or Tia Lucy. It's
bottom line is that we don't have to agree with what the big stars or those people that we call our idols or
role models.
I mean, believe it or not, there's been a couple times, yes, it's not going to be, it'll be very difficult to believe, but Mambo and I have been referred to as role models like, hey, no. By no stretch of the imagination. But this is where it's all got to start from home. Hey, listen, we want to hear from you, all right? Hit us up on the email, ricoandmambo@q1047.com. Rico and Mambo Morning Show inside of Dilemma of the Day. And today's dilemma comes from Everybody Hates Chris. Mambo, you being a parent of teenage daughters, would you make your daughters stop listening, or will you make them stop listening to Rihanna in this case?
I know they're going to do stuff. I'm looking at the way I grew up. I was a bad kid, believe it or not.
No.
And I just think, kids are going to do things behind your back. And as a parent, you hope that they don't, and they're able to come to you with whatever problem it is that they have, or whatever situation that they're going through. But I think as a parent, it is my job to raise my kids. You know, I'm not gonna let. I mean, back in the days when my son was younger, I wasn't gonna let Barney raise him. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So
whether it's the music or whether it's you know, music or someone on TV or whatever it is, I'm not gonna let them raise my kids.
So it's your job as a parent to teach the kids right from wrong. And then explain to them. Take the time to explain to them, this is why. This is why you're allowed to do this. This is why you're not allowed to do this.
See, I think too, like with a lot of stuff that happens in this world, I think people and I'm going to say lazy parents take the easy way out where, you know, like if something happens with guns, the route they go, well, it's all these video games that they play. It's like, dude, like be a parent. Teach them right from wrong. That's all, you know, I get the video games have violence. It says it on front of the video game.
Yeah, sure
so
does.
you can't easily just point the finger at someone.
Let's, you know, we're taking your emails. Rico and Mambo at Q1047.com and the studio line 877-440-1047. Hello, what do you got to say?
Well, it's all at home. You have to raise your daughters right. I have 3 daughters, and I asked them if they wanted to go see Rihanna in concert, and they were like, oh, hell no, she's stupid. And I asked why, and they said, yeah, because of the reason that she's going back with Chris after he beat her and stuff, and that's not allowed. You don't treat a woman, you know, you don't disrespect her, and you don't treat her wrong. You have to treat them right.
See, but do they still listen to Rihanna music though, or do they just stop because of what happened?
They listen to the music. They wouldn't go to their concert, and they think she's talented, but she's, you know, kind of, I guess, very young and naive about relationships.
But see, I guess, you know, what I was trying to say earlier is that this is a prime example of their teachings from parents, which is you.
Right.
In this case, in that, you know, this is acceptable, this is not acceptable, and these are the reasons why. So now they're thinking like, no, Mom, why would I want to go to that? I don't support that.
Right.
You know, I don't believe in that. So good job on your part. We appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right, this email right here says, forcing his daughters to stop listening to Rihanna will only make them idolize her even more. This father needs to sit down with his daughters and have a serious conversation explaining the choice of Rihanna, or the choice Rihanna has made, and why it is unacceptable. He needs to show them right from wrong. So thank you to Michelle for sending in that email.
You know, it's not just, I mean, not to focus on Rihanna, but that's what the email was about.
Yeah, that's what this case is about right here.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be TV. It could be a video game. It could be one of your uncles. You know what I mean? Like, I used to look up to one of my tios, and, you know, I thought he was cool because he drank. Like, he could, you know what I'm saying? Is like, you understand what I'm trying to say, though?
I see, and let's go back even further. Okay, there's some people who grew up watching the Three Stooges. Kids, if you don't know what the Three Stooges are, check it out. But, I mean, some people will even complain about the people who watch them, and, oh, they're so violent. Even Bugs Bunny and some of the Warner Brothers cartoons. People say how violent those are.
Oh, dude, Bugs Bunny was racist for the whole show.
So I'm sitting here going, come on.
Yeah. And you know what? I sit and joke about like different things like with TV. Like, you know, TV, I don't agree. I mean, the way I look at things is I look at things as advertising, because we are in the advertising business.
Right.
We are in the marketing business. So when I hear a commercial or see a commercial, whether it's violent or racist, I kind of look at it like, wow, that was creative, you know, looking at it from a marketing point of view. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want someone to label us like, hey, you want to eat? You know, I don't want... You know what I'm talking about, right?
Crazy. It's crazy. Dilemma of the day inside the Rico and Mambo Morning Show. Today's comes from Everybody Hates Chris, talking about the whole Rihanna, Chris Brown relationship. I got a couple of emails that I need to read, okay? This first one says, I can see his father's, this father's point of view, but do these teenage girls have Instagram or Facebook and follow Rihanna herself? She's half naked in her pictures, smoking pot, and almost all of her pictures, and half the stuff she sings about is sex. With 2 teenage daughters, her getting back with Chris Brown shouldn't be at the top of his list. Comes from Damn Gina, checking in. This one says, I agree with Mambo. It all begins at home. I myself grew up in an abusive environment. My dad was the sweetest person on earth, but when drunk, all hell broke loose. He would become very abusive and verbally and physically with my mother, my brothers and sisters, but for some reason, never with me. I always told myself that although I love my daddy to death, I would never, ever put up with the stuff I saw my mom put up with. And I never will. Someone who is easily influenced will fall for what they allow themselves to fall for. And no matter how much you try to protect them or keep them away, it just isn't going to work. In my opinion, the best thing to do is keep a good relationship with your kids and enforce and reiterate what is good from bad and acceptable or not acceptable. Good luck, Laura.
Yeah, from the beginning, you got to, at a young age especially, you got to teach them right from wrong.
Exactly.
And, if, again, someone who lived it, it happened in their home, but they decided to go a different route in their life. Mm-hmm. Julia?
I mean, I understand where the dad's coming from because I was a teenager, a couple years ago. And so I understand what it feels to idolize another girl and to want to be like her. But at the end of the day, the dad needs to sit down with the daughters and talk about abuse and domestic abuse in relationships and the signs and things like that, so that instead of taking it in a negative way, he should see it like an opportunity to talk to his daughters.
Right. I still think, whether it's music, TV, video games, you can't let that stuff raise your kids. It's been around for years. It's going to be around in the future. Even with movies. I mean, are you not going to let your kids watch a certain actress because they allowed to, or they acted a
violent scene or a sexual scene or whatever the scene is?
I think at the end it comes down to teaching them right from wrong at a young age and making sure that they go the good route.
Exactly.
Kids aren't perfect.
And for that matter, neither are we or any one of us.
Yeah, so, I just think, you can't. Was it one of the callers or an email where they said, if you tell them not to listen to it, they're going to listen to it more?
Yeah, they're going to idolize that person even more. Exactly.
Dude, I'm just trying to think, some of the stuff, my dad used to listen to, the songs he used to listen to. Mm-hmm. It's my dad was nothing like, the stuff he used to listen to. So you can't say, oh, I don't want them to turn out like Rihanna.
Right.
That's just dumb, I think. Final say, Rico.
You know what? I've been saying this. It all starts at home, and I think that we all need to stop blaming society. We all need to stop blaming the games and the cartoons and the movies, and we need to instill in our kids the good things, and explain to the kids what's right and what's wrong, and why you feel so strongly about that. So I think that it starts at home. And then from there, they're going to grow up and, of course, they're going to make their own decisions in life. But like Mambo said earlier, let's hope and let's pray that our kids make that right choice when they get to that, that point in their life. So everybody hates Chris. Thank you so much for the email. It was a great dilemma. Mambo, your final say.
Two things. I want to give a shout out to my Tío Moto. I wanted to be like him when I grew up, and I still want to be like him now. Take over the Jolly Jump business soon. Renting tables. Holler. Moon jumps. And happy birthday to Rihanna, 25 today.
Oh, well, there you go.
Sorry for putting you on blast, Rihanna.
All right. You got a dilemma, get it to us. Rico and Mambo at Q1047.com. We're out of here. Have yourselves a great day.